Hi, my name is Wendy Martin. I would like to speak to you about a few things about conflicts of interest. Of course, my personal conflicts of interest. Um, I would also like to speak to you about ACA, American Code Association, and my perspective of why it's put in place. My two conflicts of interest happens to be, one is religion, two is social media. The religion specifically has to do with the Muslim religion. Um, there are so many things documented, so many things that are seen on TV, so many things people have read about discriminations against Muslims and why some people don't want to welcome Muslims into the United States, why they're discriminate against Muslims. Well, this is my perspective. Especially, I'm going to speak of the Muslim religion, but especially of Muslim women. I am a 21-year veteran. I retired from the Army and I was deployed once. I was deployed overseas during the Iraqi War. My first observation of the religion was absolutely horrible. A Muslim male will treat Muslim women as if they're nothing, as if they have no value of life. I actually had witnessed two Muslim women that were beat by their husbands, fell to the ground, were not allowed to speak until their husbands spoke to them, were not allowed to get up until their husbands told them it was okay to get up. I just don't understand their religion. If that was me, I would be getting up and defending myself. However, a Muslim woman, or the two women I saw did not. It would be very difficult for me, I think, to counsel a Muslim woman. For one, I think it would, in my personal opinion, and this is very unethical, of very unethical perspectives, I'm sure, but I don't think it would help at all. I don't. What I observed was a Muslim woman has no rights. They cannot be educated. They cannot stand up for themselves. So if I was a counselor and I would try to give them some kind of education tool, some kind of course, mental health suggestions or some type of something to kind of uplift their spirits, and to help them through such a horrible situation they are either continuing to live in or have lived in. I don't think they would take that advice. I just don't. I don't think they know how to defend themselves. They only know what they know within their religion. That probably sounds very discriminate, and I'm sure it does. But I would rather refer them to someone else. I think I would just want to say, hey, stand up for yourself. I personally am a very independent woman. I will stand up for myself and do the opposite of what quote unquote society would want me to do. I don't follow, I lead. So with those values of mine would definitely conflict the values or lack of values that a Muslim woman would have. The next conflict of interest I would have is probably social media. Too many people use it loosely. Too many people get on social media platforms and just start posting without thinking about what they're posting. They can start posting about people they've met, counselors they've gone to, issues about this and that and the other. But some counselors do agree with some social media. However, counselors also have to be very careful that they themselves aren't putting out private information. Confidentiality issues could definitely arise. I wouldn't want to use social media or telehealth therapy for my clients. There's too many things at risk, especially confidentiality. Telehealth usually would be in, it's supposed to be a private session between a counselor and a client. However, nothing is private on visual media or any type of media platform. It may say it's secure, but nothing is 100% secure. I would rather not put information out there. The ethical, they're both ethical dilemmas, and I would be very non-ethical, lack of a better word, but that's my personal perspective. The ACA, American Counseling Association, is full of guidelines and ethical standards for medical personnel, counselors. I personally am a caregiver. A lot of the information in the ACA pertains to me as well. The confidentiality of my clients, the possible limitations of confidentiality. I would explain that to my clients as well. Their well-being, their consent, I can go on and on and on. But each guideline has its own code. So each code specifically explains what the issue would be and a definition to the issue and how you should use the definition. It's all black and white. However, I wonder if there's a gray to everything, or a gray area to some things. I guess it depends on what it is. My conflicts of interest again was the religious part, specifically a Muslim religion, and using social media as a counseling substitute or supportive measures. But that is my video. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And thank you for listening.